The shorter reading is from the chapter Practical Application of Truth. Whose hand is it? First-hand information refers to information you saw or heard personally with no intermediaries. First-hand information is not considered perfect. You may have been drunk, distracted, or demented when you witnessed the event. Even so, it is considered much better evidence than second-hand information. Second-hand information comes from someone, a friend, or a journalist perhaps, who has talked to someone who directly witnessed an event. The person who saw the event would be called the first-hand source, as the person giving you the second-hand report. If you went and told your mother what you thought you heard the journalist or friend say, your mother would be getting the information third-hand, as she would be the third person in the chain of communication. There isn't a fourth, fifth, or sixth hand. I don't know why. If there are four or more people in the line of communication, it is still referred to as third hand. Having more hands involved, very much like having too many cooks, makes the broth, or communication, much worse. Each new person in the chain adds a new level of bias, miscommunication, selective attention, and downright error. Also, as school day games of telephone demonstrate, the more complex the communication, the worse this distortion becomes. End note. My editor tells me that when he was in school, these were called telegraph games. Not that he's old or anything. Next section. Correlation is not causality. Beetle larva cured my cancer, yelled Susan, a person I just made up. I ate a pound of them a day for a month, and when I went to my oncologist, he said my cancer was in total remission. Here we have a correlation between the practice of eating beetle larvae and the event of having cancer go into remission. They are correlated because they happened around the same time. Susan additionally believes that the beetle larva caused her cancer to get better. She does have some reason for this belief. The person who sold her the beetle larva said they would. Why else pay $70 a pound for them? And oh yes, her cancer is now in remission. How much more proof do you need? There are actually at least 4 possible relationships between the cancer and the beetle eating. 1, beetle larva ingestion did indeed cure the cancer. 2, the beetle larva contributed to the cure, but was not a major factor. 3, beetles have no effect on cancer, and some third factors, such as prayer or chemotherapy, actually brought about the cure. Or 4, the beetles actually made the cancer worse, but other third factors overcame the negative effect. The classic example of correlation being different from causality is the link between reading ability and shoe size. Did you know that in children, the bigger the shoe size, the better the reading ability? It's a perfect correlation. Honestly. Do you suppose that having big feet somehow stimulates the reading center of the brain? What's really happening is that both reading ability and shoe size are being influenced by a third factor, age. The older a child is, the bigger their feet are. The older a child is, the more developed their brain is, and the more experience they have with reading. So even though increases in shoe size and reading ability match perfectly, they have no causal relationship to each other. Shoe size doesn't increase reading ability. Reading ability doesn't make your feet grow. That was my mom. Bye, Mom. I remember when I was a young boy listening to the radio announcer report that a recent study had shown that married couples who shared a goodbye kiss in the morning were much more likely to stay together. The clear implication was that you should rev up the smooching so as to safeguard your marriage. This was most likely a case of reverse causality. Rather than morning kissing causing harmonious relationships, it is far more likely that morning kisses are caused by harmonious relationships. The argument over correlation versus causality rages on in many current day topics. In the global warming debate, many people believe that global warming is caused by increased levels of carbon dioxide from burning fossil fuels. Many others believe that while there are correlations between warmer weather and more carbon dioxide, the two factors are unrelated, or that perhaps warmer weather leads to increased levels of carbon dioxide instead. I'm not going to weigh in on that one for the moment, as I've probably collected enough enemies already. Thus endeth the